Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on Les Angoville. Yes, indeed, Angoville shall be the scene of the fighting once more. And who shall be fighting in the northern corner? We shall be seeing Neigeux of the Americans of the 4th Infantry Division. Opposing him shall be Sageofthesix, a bit of a rude chap, I fear, but still, overall interesting game, so we'll be able to sort of overlook it, although we're clearly not really accepting of it. Nonetheless, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 116th Panzer Division Windhund, a division that was rather hastily put together from a training panzer unit and some leftover of a Panzergrenadiers division from the Eastern Front, more specifically the 16th, which had been shattered. So then, looks like we are going to be seeing a forward barrack start. That of course means you get 3 pioneers as the Wehrmacht. You get the sort of position you want, and then you of course set about fortifying immediately. That is getting a forward barracks, and then getting the Volkskaniers out. Usually get about 4 to 5 squads, if I'm not mistaken. On the other hand, Neigeux is just going for 2 engineers and a rifleman squad, and there we go. No, those weren't Volkskaniers. Those just pioneers, but of course the forward barracks is up. So we should hopefully be seeing some Volkskaniers soon. The pioneers marching on in the meanwhile. Skirmishing between some pioneers and engineers right here in the east. Riflemen will probably be moving in very shortly. And of course, one slight issue with this sort of strategy is, of course, it rather gives the opponent an advantage in time, since of course it will take some time to actually get the forward barracks up. But there we go, riflemen coming under heavy fire from the initial Volkskaniers arriving out from it. Rushing straight at the Volkskaniers, taking some damage in the process. It looks like they get the drop on the Volkskaniers quite nicely. Squad leader down first off, but the riflemen themselves are taking heavy damage, and the Volkskaniers are retreating to the forward barracks to reinforce. That could work, No, they're retreating inside the building. Come on, be nice.
Just give the order.
Why can't we be friends? Volkskaniers now getting ready once more. We'll probably be seeing another squad very soon. Pioneers coming under fire. More additional riflemen moving up. Though it looks like Neigeux is not really getting touched by it. Further over here in the west, but that's not really where the fighting is taking place. Again, it's in the east, where most of it tends to happen. Additional Volkskanier squad arriving. There we go. Although these are quickly getting outnumbered and outgunned. They're down to 4 men below half health. Get them out of there, Sage. You're not being very sagey. Or sage-like. Pioneers coming under heavy fire as the riflemen keep punishing the pioneers. For being German, for being Krauts. Volkskaniers moving up, but they're not moving in to deal with the riflemen. And looks like so far the Wehrmacht won't really have much in terms of fuel, which is definitely going to be to the advantage of the American, because he does. Looks like these pioneers are not doing too well against American engineers.
Enemy unit down.
Pioneer squad down. Volkskaniers moving into this cutoff point, at least hoping to deny the Americans some fuel. Volkskaniers moving in. We're probably seeing a 3rd squad anytime soon, I hope. And looks like the pioneers actually won over the engineers, although quite closely they could have ended up dead. And Volkskaniers getting pushed off. There's rifle now moving in. And reinforcing. Volkskaniers getting pushed off. Getting attacked from several sides, and we're already seeing 3 rifleman squads, but of course Sageofthesix is a bit behind at the moment. Not really doing too well there. Anyways, I mean, not really looking too good for the 116th Panzer Division right off the bat, although there we go, the 3rd Volkskanier ready. Others getting reinforced, moving out. A bit more heavy focus towards these, perhaps. Of course, they are going to need to make a more coordinated push than they have so far, which has been rather spread out and a bit haphazard. Not really the way you want to play with Volkskaniers. You usually want to sort of keep them focused, keep them covering each other. Volkskaniers are sort of more of a synergy unit. They need to work with something else to really sort of get the most out of them. They're not really the sort of things, fight on their own, unless of course they are in a pretty heavily fortified position. Riflemen taking losses, finally getting pushed off. Able to get quite a bit out of them, and again, both viewpoints in the hands of the Americans. Supplier going up for Neigeux. GG, mines going down. Again, a bit rude to be like that. But that, I fear, is Sageofthesix. Not really a gentleman or a good German officer. At least in terms of behavior. More mines going down here. I mean, these 2 points are pretty good spots to mine. Also this one. Rather than moving in, taking up position here. Not a lot of windows, but still, I mean, can do a bit. It's more of a machine gun building, though. But, I mean, if you can catch someone up in the open, though, you're still going to do some damage. Folks going securing what they can. Pioneers trying to lay down a mine right there, but the Americans do spot them. Damn Yanks. Kampfkraft Center going up for Sageofthesix. Interesting enough, does this mean he won't be going for the 4th full-scale squad, which is not really how you play this strategy, at least not from what I know. There we go, mine hit, 2 riflemen down, others awfully wounded and pinned. But still, I mean, usually you tend to get 4 to 5 full-scale squads, that way having a nice infantry force and then really pushing hard with it. That rather does not seem to be within the purview of Sageofthesix war plans. Whereas, of course, Neigeux has 4 rifleman squads and a motor pool on the way. He's clearly going to be enjoying several advantages over Sageofthesix, which is definitely not to him as an advantage, although we're already seeing skirmish phase up. MP40s being equipped now, just need to get up close with them. They're not really long-range weapons. They're submachine guns, that is, you know, you need to get up close with them. Shoot the Americans in the face. Not their toes. Now we're going, engineers getting awfully close to the MP40s. They're moving about too much in the open, stay in cover. And Deckungsmänner. But we are seeing a bunker going up for Sageofthesix. Probably going to be a medic bunker. That could be good. Although again, will also work even better with 4 Volksgrenadiers. Pioneers getting reinforced. There we go. Lots of MP40s now, thus giving him quite the sizable force in terms of automatics. And we'll soon be seeing the armoured car coming out. Find you. We are seeing a Kriegbergs going up as well. Now it looks like he's cancelled his armoured car. Instead going for a triage and trying to help his wounded men. Rather than taking up position there. And do note, garrisoning your men actually does provide protection against submachine guns, as they only gain a they actually gain a 50% penalty in accuracy and damage. Veterans you 1 up for Wehrmacht infantry, giving them a bit of self-healing, can help a bit usually. Make them survive a bit long in the longer run, so definitely not a bad upgrade. Although now again, Sageofthesix is making that slight mistake of sort of splitting them up. As for level, I believe they're about level 14, 13. Volksgunners catching on fire, getting pushed off. Other Volksgunners reinforcing medic so far, not achieving much. No mines there, a bit of a shame. Always a good spot there. Western side, pretty open, except 1 rifleman squad, and which those pioneers are going to be running into. Mines there as well. Lovely, lovely. Volksgunners moving up. And definitely close to the medic bunkers, only wounded might be picked out right there.
Seizing territory from us.
Looks like we'll be seeing some grenadiers now out soon for Sageofthesix. At the same time, he does have the motor pool, but so far he's not getting any usage of it. In fact, he's going for a BAR upgrade. Quite interesting enough, perhaps he's already suspecting there might be a pack, and of course in that way figures, well then I might as well get a BAR and punish his infantry. And of course make sure that pack won't see any usage.
Krauts are grabbing our territory.
Going once more for the cut-off point. There we go. Those aren't grenadiers. Those are grenadiers. These folks must start getting pretty heavily pushed off. Retreat, Sage. Retreat. Rückzug. And his medics are just getting gunned down. Not really good. And there we go. The BAR has arrived. The Browning automatic rifle. Thus greatly increasing the firepower of your average rifleman squad. An absolutely vicious upgrade. Medic trying to save a poor pioneer, but only gets gunned down. Not really the day of the medics in this game. Volksgunners trying to move in, getting up close with the riflemen works, but of course also try to stand still a bit. You usually get much more accuracy out in your troops. Grenadiers moving in. Oh, we are seeing a suppressive volley. Or suppressive fire from the BARs. Nasty that. Quickly suppresses the Volksgrenadiers. And we are seeing the Grenadiers also getting suppressed. Absolutely vicious. And flamethrowers moving in, thus resulting in a full retreat for the 116th Panzergrenadiers. Utterly pushed back. Nasty that.
Our front lines are collapsing.
And there we go, mine down, lovely. Although the pioneers are then being laid down themselves by fire. Oh, the Volksgrenadiers are there on their own. What are you doing, Sage? Get them out of there. Get them out of... Oh, dear. Quickly run off. Volksgrenadiers pushing on here, holding the line as engineers move in. And an anti-tank gun, quite interesting. Perhaps he's sort of suspecting his opponent, of course, might go for the Sturm and get some Pumas to punish him. Though again, it might also be a bit too early for that. He's probably seen the Grenadiers, but again, he might sort of feel they might have come from the medic bank, I suppose. If he's seen that. Oh, so many things. It's a bit hard to, read a fellow's mind. Volksgrenadiers holding out against the riflemen. They're clearly not winning this fight. The Grenadiers look like they've been equipped with a Panzergrenadier, but they are going to need a medic pack ready soon. They're not really in a good condition. Oh, focusing on the medic. This could be the time for the Volksgrenadiers to really do some damage while the riflemen are occupied with the medic. There we go, getting pushed off.
We're losing ground out there.
Going once more for the cut-off point. Pioneers losing to some flamethrower engineers. Nasty that, nasty that. And looking at Sageofthesix, he has gone for terror. Nothing else though, it seems. Going for veterancy 2 for his infantry. Not really a lot though. Americans pushing on at all sides. Troops getting burned alive, engineers getting pushed away. And looks like he lost a Volksgrenadier squad with the MP40s. And medics once more getting gunned down. He's only been able to get one wounded so far. Neigeux's really been punishing his medics.
Was wünschen Sie? What do you want?
But veterancy 2 for the infantry should help. But again, currently he does not really have a lot. Which might be minimizing the impact of it right away. Grenadiers caught out in the open. Quickly pulling away. Get to cover. Get to cover. We are seeing a grenade, but oh, more riflemen moving in, and the Grenadiers are still in the open. There we go, veteran 2. That is going to help them a bit, but they need to get out of there desperately. Riflemen going down. Grenadiers. Wuxu, grenade on the riflemen who have gained veterancy 2. Oh dear, and they don't even take any losses to that grenade. Definitely not Sageofthesix's day. Additional Grenadiers on the way. Not even losing those Pioneers on the retreat. He's actually getting support veterancy, but he only has Pioneers, so he's not really getting much out of veterancy 1 for them. In veterancy 2 would certainly give them elite armor, make them a bit tougher. That's about it. And some Volksgrenadiers moving in on their own. Again, getting simply outgunned by the Americans. Not really doing well, but now we are seeing additional Grenadiers. That should hopefully provide a bit more of a problem for Neigeux. Hopefully, I mean, there's no guarantees, I fear.
Pioneers here. Grenadiers ready.
So, what shall be the plan? Going in to deal with those riflemen. More MP40s, more Panzerschreck, despite not having seen one single vehicle as of yet. Charging right at these riflemen, quickly pushing them off, moving for the victory point right there. Looks like an anti-tank gun is sneaking up here. Several mines right there by Neigeux. Lovely move, certainly going to help that protect their point, which has been heavily harassed by Sageofthesix in the past. Mines there as well. Good. Good, really good. Neigeux suddenly getting excellent with his mining. Though definitely, I mean, Sageofthesix is not really been passive with mining either. Oh, mine goes off, killing the crew of the anti-tank gun. Second anti-tank gun up there. Either side is expecting the other side to sort of, get some vehicles, but so far there's been none. Grenadiers getting run off. And a building collapses in smoke and dust. Not sure why the Grenadiers are not aiding the Volksgrenadiers, who are now quickly moving in larger numbers. And again, not really doing too much against 5 men in the building. Then again, 10 MP40s should be able to do something. Looks like the ooh, more mines. Excellent, excellent. Assault phase has been reached, and again, perhaps some of those munitions could have been better used on an LMG-42 to counter all those riflemen. Anti-tank gunfire on the forward barracks, hoping to knock it out. Looks like a much larger sweep might be soon going in against the Wehrmacht, trying to consolidate into larger positions. And oh dear, Neigeux, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hitting a mine. Grenadiers moving in. But the troops up here are definitely not in a great condition either. Heavily wounded. Anti-tank gun, they're wrecked. He's gotten a second medic bunker? Now that's interesting. No, not necessarily a bad idea. I mean, that's 4 medics. That could definitely mean there's a larger chance of actually any wounded being picked up. It's not very often you see it, but you know, it could work. It could work. Riflemen soon getting hunted down with the Grenadiers moving into a building right next to them. Ooh, sniper from Neigeux, but the sniper gets discovered and run off. And these from here not doing too well either against the Grenadiers, but we are seeing a grenade. Grenadiers getting up, but losing 2 men in the process, and now we are seeing medics really hard at work. But looks like a large sweep is coming in from the Americans, and assault from the west. Minesweepers, flamethrowers, everything else in between. And there's absolutely nothing to stop it. No infantry. Oh dear, Sageofthesix, you've just let yourself open. You've barely got any infantry left, having lost another Volksgrenadier squad.
We have gained the momentum on the field.
We are seeing a Sturmarmy going up, but that's about it. We are seeing a mortar team now coming out for Sageofthesix. Grenadiers having a bit more problems. Medic moving in. Let's just speed this up because there's not going to be much happening until then. But there we go. Granatenwerfer for setting up. Bunker getting scorched. Anti-tanker moving up. Could even be dealing with the second medic bunker. Mortar fire right away. Oh, far too short right there. They're certainly keeping up the pressure on Sageofthesix.
One of our sectors has been cut off.
Oh dear, he's hitting his own medic bunker with a mortar. That's not really going to work out. But there we go, assault pushing in, Volksgrenadiers moving in, grenades going off, wounded being produced, and a demo charge from the engineers. He's just researched it. I wager, and there we go, medic bunker in the east going to go down. A bit of a shame. Still, Grenadier squad is ready, so it might have paid us off at least partially. More wounded getting produced. Sniper moving in from the east. Medic bunker knocked out. Grenade on the rifleman. Sniper could be killed. He could be killed. Again, LMG-42s are surprisingly accurate against snipers. Rifleman not really doing too well either. Medic bunker almost gone. Almost gone, my goodness. Medic's getting shot down. Grenade on the rifleman. Certainly quite the fight there, and looks like Sageofthesix won it. He even got himself some additional infantry, and he can just get 1 more wounded back to it. He could get himself a full Grenadier squad more.
What are your orders?
Grenadiers quickly reinforcing. He's definitely got some resources left over, and there we go. Armoured car on the way. Might also be an idea to get some veterancy for it. Going to make it tougher, and yes, indeed, he's at the same time getting vehicle veterancy 1. Gotta go move again, going for the cutoff point, getting pushed off there. Being forced away a bit there as well, but more troops moving in, and of course we still have the mortar veterancy 1, which just means it fires a bit faster. 4 kills already. Grenade against the Grenadiers. Mortar fire. That medic bunker definitely going to need some repairs. Also making a good progress in the west. troops catching on fire en masse. Medics getting gunned down again. Neigeux clearly having had a horrific and traumatic childhood experience with a medic. For all I know, Grenadiers not really doing too well either. Getting pushed away, hunted down by the riflemen. Numerous veterans, 2 in fact, for Neigeux. Armored car arriving, opening up right on Neigeux's infantry, tearing through them on negative cover. And we are seeing Grenadiers and Volkskriegs moving up, clearing out an anti-tank gun and stealing it away from Sageofthesix. But again, reinforcing troops getting ready to move up once more. Riflemen take... Oh, nice position right there. Volkskriegs need to retreat. And I might also suggest the Grenadiers do the same before it's too late. And the ill-gotten loot of the anti-tank gun quickly being pulled back to safer lines. Oh, the Grenadiers need to retreat. Retreat! Rückzug! Oh dear, he might lose them. No, they make it safely back. Medics moving in. And looks like the West is more or less a forgotten cause for now. Neigeux clearly occupied in the east, feeding further and further troops into the meat grinder.
Now support rapid deployment.
And there we go, some good hits on the armored car. Sniper following up, medics, everything in between. And now we're seeing Rangers out for Neigeux, of course, meaning infantry doctrine has been chosen to face the might of Sageofthesix's terror.
Down to 3 enemy.
Oh, Pioneer went down. And there we go, Rangers leading the way. Assault while being equipped, would soon be getting off-map combat groups even. And mortar fire, lovely. Definitely keeping on the pressure. Medics pulling in the wounded. We'll be seeing an additional medic bunker up for Sageofthesix, but there we go. An additional Grenadier squad. And these Grenadiers will need to get away. They're getting burned, shot and sniped. Not really good. And looks like these Volkskriegs in the west are quickly getting surrounded as well. Armored car and more mines. Oh, mines so bloody close to each other. Lots of mines, lots of death. And the Nebelwerfer pulls off, ready to bombard the Americans. All sorts of nasty things. More mines going off. Grenadiers hitting the American mine. Ooh, grenade against Grenadiers. Not really doing anything. Ooh, another mine. Oh dear, more Grenadiers down. Ooh, mine. If the Grenadiers throw a grenade, they could set it off. Mortar rounds flying as well. Oh dear, oh dear. These Grenadiers need to get away. Oh, so close to that mine going off. And Rangers forcing away the Volksgrenadiers ever slowly. And the Americans set off the mine. Grenadiers awfully close to death. And unit went down somewhere. Probably some Pioneers or Grenadiers. Nebelwerfer still moving though. And again, cut off point, cut off. All 3 victory points in the hands of the Wehrmacht, and the 116th was finally made a bit of a comeback right there. Rangers riflemen moving in. And that mortar just keeps on firing. 5 kills so far. Not really a lot though. But there we go, increasing the kill score. No anti-tank gun there, probably swept by minesweepers. But the Nebelwerfer is at the front, ready to bombard the Americans. The righteous German fire. More mines for Sageofthesix. And the assaults keep on happening. Oh, mines went off, killing several Volksgrenadiers. And they're not in a good condition. And the armored car charges right at the riflemen. I mean, Rangers. with the bazooka. Seems... Oh, grenadiers getting grenaded. But the Rangers actually end up retreating in the face of all of this. Of course, the medics are on the job, and there we go. Neigeux firing for the first time as a nice push goes through the center of the field. Hammering the anti-tank, I'm not quite hitting it. Grenadiers getting pushed back. Veterancy free for Sageofthesix's troops. Engineers dead, that's not really good, but still holding a lot of infantry. In fact, 4 rifleman squads and a ranger squad. He had 3 engineers, but out of 2, that's a mortar as well, and of course the sniper with 11 kills. Oh dear, sweeping through. Veterancy free already. Neigeux cleared out, anti-tank gun could be cleared out, mortar, but forced retreat, but still mortar, still anti-tank gun is down. And the Neigeux didn't really survive either. Bit of a blow there to Sageofthesix.
We're down to 200 points.
And the Americans moving in once more in the west to retake what they can there. Definitely a lot of harassment. Mortar rounds falling on the Americans, making it that much harder to actually take anything. Sageofthesix pushing onwards. Looks like he's a lot more silent now as well. Less snark. American mortar setting up. Oh dear. German mortar is clearly unaware of this development. 10 kills, and there we go. American mortar firing a counter battery mission on the German one. Nasty little hit there. Not really looking too good. And another engineer goes down, but they do manage to reconnect. Armor car needs to move. Mortar crewman dead. And Neigeux fire actually hitting the mortar as it removed to sort of avoid German fire. But the anti-tank gun and the Neigeux is ready. Both crewed with grenadiers. That seems a bit excessive, particularly when he had full grenadiers still to do it. And these grenadiers are quickly getting murdered, while the armored car moving in to do as much damage to the Americans in the west. Stop them from taking back as much territory as possible. And we are seeing a Panzer command now going up for Sageofthesix, really adding in the Panzers now. Neigeux once more getting pushed back.
We're losing ground out there.
Looks like though he's hiding a flamethrower in the medic bunker. A different way of cauterizing wounds, I suppose. A bit more terminal. Oh my goodness, he's floating an awful lot of resources. Neigeux, get an off-map combat group or something. Don't float 1,000 manpower, you pillock. Though it looks like he's actually gotten both supplied upgrades, so clearly he can't spend it on that. Ooh, sending in the mortar. Way too close, misclick. Mines going off right there. Oh, heavy damage to those veterancy 3 riflemen. But clearly Sageofthesix is not having such an easy time anymore. More and more problems appear. But again, Neigeux clearly shouldn't be throwing that many resources either. I mean, he's 1,100 manpower. Come on, Neigeux. I know you can do better than that.
The Germans are seizing territory from us.
It looks like we got some light in the Panzer Command. Possibly a Panzer IV, possibly an Ostwind. Could be a Panther, I suppose.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply. Krauts have cut forward supply lines.
But come on, Neigeux, no floating that much manpower, it's not doing you any good. Looks like this is the end of the mortar. No, gets away from the armored car. And looks like it was an Ostwind Flak Panzer for Sageofthesix and 116th Panzer Division. Moving in. Assault in the north, rifle moving in, catching the foot grenadiers off guard. Getting them quickly suppressed, excellent job right there. And quickly pushing them away. Looks like we're now seeing numerous anti-tank guns for Neigeux. Absolutely excessive. Again, no off-map combat groups. Not sure why. And there we go. Medics went down. Sageofthesix can soon get a King Tiger as well. Jolly good. No veterancy for us Austrian Flak Panzer though. And these Grenadiers just need to get out of there. They're not going to win. And another Grenadier squad reform. We're actually seeing 4 Grenadiers. Though considering he has... yeah, he's probably lost 1 squad though. Since I know he trained 2. He's definitely had 3 reformed anyways. Still quite nice. 3 Grenadier squads reformed is usually a good thing. Armor car. Oh, charging right in. What are you doing, Sageofthesix? You're just sacrificing the armor car needlessly. And looks like no further ranges. But we might see the King Tiger arrive anytime soon. Will we? Come on, Sage. Königstiger, you know you want to. And securing another anti-tank gun. Interesting, he though needs to actually get it back. Bit of problem right here for these riflemen, and he's also floating an awful lot of munitions. He could easily be getting an LMG-42 to help with some of those riflemen ranges. Anti-tank gun getting charged because again, no protection, no support. Grenadiers trying to provide a bit of support, but it's too late for the anti-tank gun crew. They are dead.
Veterancy gained.
Need a bit of a fight. Try to rake them with death, and we do see 1 good hit. Otherwise, it's up to the Ostwind to save the day.
The Americans are capturing a sector. Another replacement.
Not doing too well for Sageofthesix. He seems to be losing a bit of steam, but there we go. Königstiger has arrived. The King Tiger is here to save the day for the 116th Panzer Division. In the face of the American foe. Ooh, anti-tank gun fire against the Ostwind. Need to get it out of there. And he is leading the assault in the west, probably clearing the way for the King Tiger, but you know, focus. Don't stand there taking points, just attack. Oh, the Grenadiers going down. Others getting mortared. Just push the assault, mate. Clear the way for the King Tiger. Ostwind moving in to assist. Hitting from the flank. Anti-tank gun is the target. Mortar runs flank. Oh, sticky bomb on the Ostwind, but the anti-tank gun is no more. Move out the King Tiger. Oh dear, immobilized. Bazookas moving in. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers trying to support, but I fear the Ostwind will not make it. And an engineer squad went down, and Rangers getting absolutely suppressed by Nebelwerfer fire. So the riflemen. The assault continues, and anti-tank gun heroically plays itself, but we could be seeing a firestorm. Yes, indeed. Firestorm. Bit of light fighting here in the east as well, though. Looks like something happened there. Forced retreat. Will we be seeing the firestorm? Come on. Come on. Get off that good old firestorm. Yes, indeed. Right here in the middle of everything. Of course, do not underestimate the forces right here. They could still prove a bit of a damage. Grenadiers getting pushed away. Firestorm. Not really killing anything. Except a few Rangers. Machine gun emplacement is down, leaving the western part of the base open to any infantry assaults. But looks like an anti-tank gun could be opening up on the King Tiger. And looks like the riflemen are ignoring the King Tiger, perhaps moving in to deal with this support position. Which is not very well defended. Barracks down for Neigeux. Rifle moving in against a mortar and the Nebelwerfer and the anti-tank gun. No attempt at a forced retreat, and mortar went down. King Tiger getting assaulted. Sticky bombs going off en masse. Another firestorm, but it's not really going to cut it, honestly. Although it does get a few. I think overall damage will be pretty limited. King Tiger needs to get out there. More infantry's moving up. He needs to get the Pioneers repairing it as soon as possible. In the meanwhile, not really doing too well. Her crews are getting cleared out swiftly. Grenadiers are moving in, but they need grenades. So much going on, attacks on all sides, and I think it might be too much for Sageofthesix with the anti-tank and clearing out. Full guns running right in front of the machine gun emplacement. Again, why did you not pull out the King Tiger, you tosser? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It looks so bright. Yet his assault went tits up. Pioneer securing a bazooka, but again, get that King Tiger out of there. No! The King Tiger is gone. Doomed. Kaput. No idea what he's doing with the Pioneers. He just threw them away. Again, not very sage-like. A bit of additional neighborhood fire to punish the invader. And looks like he's gotten himself another mortar. Or is it the American mortar doing the damage right there? Apparently it was. But that was not really good for Sageofthesix. He's down to only 4 Grenadier squads and a Neigeux and a Pioneer squad. Everything else has been lost. Rather than trying to hunt down the Neigeux, we're running into the flamethrower of the medic bunker. And several riflemen immediately burst into flames. And again, for some reason, he's equipped all of his Grenadiers with Panzergrenadiers, yet he's not seen a single vehicle. Again, either in this case, he probably should have left them on a grade or at least gotten an LMG-42. This is just, on the other hand, a waste. In particular, again, when the opponent is mostly going infantry. We are seeing another Ostwind going up. But 23 riflemen with just a BARs, but still that's quite nasty. 39 kills. They were getting assaulted by a large Grenadier force and quickly getting run off again. 18 points left, by the way, for Neigeux. Mr. Sageofthesix could still be winning this. They clearly should be focusing not on the cutoff point but on the victory point, so I'm going to just quickly drain him and hold the line. But apparently he's not even doing that. What are you doing, Sageofthesix? Get those grenadiers out. Oh dear, that's going to be too late. 2 veterans, 3 riflemen. Just get out of there. No, he's running in his grenadiers. What is he hoping to achieve? Oh, come on.
Attention. The enemy advances.
Sageofthesix seems to have lost his ability to play the game proficiently. Firestorm again, no idea why he's going for that when he should be protecting the victory points. Engineers getting pushed off, just a bit speeding up until we get a good fight. So keep things a bit more sane in terms of length. B1 getting prepared, but again, protect the victory points. Get those. Ignore everything else. Looks like he will be losing that Ostwind. B1 getting called in on the American base, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to do much, in particular when they're just going to go for the victory points.
They're losing territory.
Large part of the American base gone. Oh dear. But 23 rifle moving in against the Grenadiers. Grenade! Oh dear, Grenadiers need to get away. Get away, Rückzug, Männer! Can't afford to lose any more. Oh dear, he did. Now it's in fact down to a Grenadier squad, a Nebelwerfer and an Ostwind. Everything else is, well, gone. And now he's getting another Ostwind. 6 points left for Neigeux, though. This is going to be very close. Very close. In fact, let's go have a look at him. Whoops, mouse sort of flipped out. Wow! 4 veterancy free Grenadier rifleman squads. That's That's pretty rare. Plus a veteran C3 now. That would also sort of give an idea of how Sageofthesix in the long run failed. I mean, unit preservation definitely wasn't up to stuff. And now an off-map combat group finally arriving with 2 tank destroyers and an armored car. The Ostwind's not going to have a chance against that.
Enemy unit down.
And now he's lost all the grenadiers because not to the armor he was expecting them to fight. In fact, he's even had an awesome Panzergrenadiers with the rifle, but he lost them to the infantry, which he didn't really bother with except with Ostwinds. Oh dear. Really poor calculation of Sageofthesix behalf.
Order ready. Our front lines are collapsing.
And the sad thing is, he could probably drain him right there if he just used forced retreat on those riflemen. Again, does not really seem to be within his plans. Greyhound moving in pretty swiftly. Pioneers not really doing too well. But again, only 6 victory points left. It only requires Sageofthesix to gain the upper hand ever so temporarily for a few seconds. But again, I mean, that's a sort of problem. People in situations like this, players can get a bit too desperate and thus become a bit too reckless in the hopes of just gaining those few seconds of holding both victory points and draining him down.
The enemy is down to 300 points.
And again, he doesn't really have much to actually sort of defend himself with. Medic bunker went down. Barely anything left for Sageofthesix. Neigeux, on the other hand, has a much larger force. Panzer IV now arriving. And the engineers coming under some pretty swift fire. A Stuke? Why is he getting a Stuke now? Of all the times he could get a Stuke, he's first getting it now. I have no idea what's going through his head.
Enemy unit.
No idea. Straight assault at the anti-tank gun.
Our forces are taking casualties.
Anti-tank gun did go down, with the Panzer IV itself took some pretty severe damage. And the Americans are moving in. Sturmgeschütz though, trying to delay them.
Got hostiles.
He might be hoping to sort of, I don't know, destroy the American base, but there's also note a machine gun position right down there, so that won't even cut it. Oh, Sturmgeschütz simply getting overpowered, because again it's on its own without infantry support, which it needs. So Stuke down in seconds. Panzer IV knocked out by the rifleman with the Panzerschreck. Possibly the M10. Did it. Now only the Ostwind is behind, and there's no infantry, no anything. Again, Sageofthesix just seems to have thrown it all away. Which again is sort of a cautious reminder not to get too reckless, think ahead. Oh, he actually had an observation post on this munitions point. But this is pretty much GG. Sorry for saying that, sort of accidentally cancelled the recording, but you know, or stopped it more specifically, but you know, what lost Sageofthesix this game? What won it to Neigeux? I mean, essentially, Sageofthesix really made a bunch of odd mistakes and odd things, you know, going for the forward barracks up, but not really utilizing it fully. That was really one of the odder ones right off the bat, but he was able, you know, to overcome it, really punish them, really, you know, do some damage to Neigeux, even push him back, but then sort of things went apart. His King Tiger was left more or less to its own, not properly supported, knocked out. And he also didn't really try to protect his position down here much well either. But again, I also think one of the major problems was he kept getting Panzergrenadiers when there was no armor. It might have been better just not upgrading them at all, or getting an LMG-42. So bloody mistake right there. But also sometimes he just threw away units. I mean, poor unit preservation as well. I mean, the 2 medic bunkers were a nice move, but he didn't get quite much out of it. On the other hand, for Neigeux, I mean, supplied upgrade number 2 good. I mean, he saw 4 riflemen Veterancy 3, that really sort of speaks of his unit preservation. I think that's rather what won Neigeux the fight. Excellent unit preservation. I mean, 4 Veterancy 3 Grenadiers Rifleman squads are really going to tear through, well, pretty much everything. So there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.